everyone. I am so excited to get on here tonight with y'all and start our series or part 2 of our build series. So if you haven't had a chance yet to watch part 1 or over Build Your Belief, I urge you to go back and rewatch that. I know I have the links on the team page, so go find that and check that out as soon as you can in the next week would be great. So one of the most important things before you start building your business is that you have that belief foundation. Tonight we're going to talk about, though, is how to actually build your business and get started with that. So building your business, it can take time or it can be fast and furious. Everyone's journey is different. So just know that your journey is yours alone, and don't look to the side and start comparing, or that will be the fastest thing that slows you down in your business. So stay focused on your own business and your own journey and just embrace the journey. There are really, I have broken this down into 5 basic steps tonight on what you're going to be doing to build your business. It's easy to lose touch of the basics and to overcomplicate it if you've been in this for a while. So stick with the basics, and I guarantee you will see the most fruit from that. So the first thing you're going to need to do when you're building your business is build your audience. How large is your audience on social media? For someone who has 250 friends, they might have a different response than someone who has 2,500 friends. So if you're wanting to build on social media, build that audience that you have up. Start adding more friends on Facebook. I know you know more than what you have. If you're concerned about privacy and you have intentionally kept your Facebook audience small, there are ways to set up filters so that you can only post certain things to certain people. But I highly encourage you to utilize this platform to build your business, because it really can be a great place to do so, because you can reach so many people in one time, which is one post. So the Friends List it's an acronym that's one of the most commonly used ones for helping you brainstorm people that you know and people that you're going to need to be building onto your audience. And Frank stands for friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighbor, kid connection, spouse connection, and I also like to add past to that, because I think we kind of forget about, you know, our high school connections and our clubs we were in when we were younger, and those connections. So if you're new, sit down and write out this list of people that you know. And it might take you a really long time because you're really trying to brainstorm people that you know that could benefit from the products or the business, and that you might not be Facebook friends yet with, because you want to make sure they're in your audience on Facebook too, so that they see what you're doing and they have time to really absorb what it is you have to offer. So one way that you can help find connections on Facebook that I have found very beneficial is by, if you find someone, say, from your past, from high school, that you remember this one person from high school, but you can't remember a whole bunch of the other people. You know, you can't remember their names, remember their faces or something. Go to this friend's Facebook page, go to their friends. As long as they don't have their friends list hidden, you can go, there should be some like titles up at the top, and you go to more, and there will be a section that says people you might know. And this is going to give you suggestions of people that you might know because of this other friend. So it's a way to find these people that you have kind of been missing that link with for a while. It's great. It's been, you know, just today I found a couple sorority sisters I haven't talked to in a long time. And it's something, even at my level, I'm constantly still building my audience. Make sure it's something that in the beginning, this is going to be one of the biggest steps that you do, because you're starting that foundation of figuring out who is going to be your audience with Plexus. Who do you want to do this business with you? Who would greatly benefit from these products? But once you've been in here and with the business for a long time, you still want to be adding to your audience every day, because we meet new people all the time when we're out and about. And you never know when you might have a product that they really need. So make sure that you're constantly building that up. The second step that you're going to be doing when you're building your business is sharing Plexus. It's the basic one that has to be done all the time. So there's 3 ways really that we can share Plexus, or 3 different avenues that we're going to be sharing Plexus. And the first one is social media. So Facebook is probably the most common social media form used, but it's not the only one. You can also use, there's Instagram, which is becoming very popular popular too. And I've actually just recently started getting in on Instagram again. And interesting thing I like about Instagram is I have a whole different audience on Instagram than I have on Facebook. I'm seeing people that I'm Facebook friends with, but they never are on Facebook. They never post. I never see from them or hear from them. Then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, here you are. You're over on Instagram. So I kind of like having both of those avenues so that I can reach kind of two separate audiences. Twitter is also another popular one. I know a lot of people get good response with Twitter, with people responding back. And Snapchat's one that I don't really use often, but I know some people use it also. So make sure you're using the different social media avenues. One great thing about social media is you're able to reach thousands of people in just one post, which makes it such an effective form of marketing. But keep in mind, the bad thing about social media is you are able to reach thousands of people in just one post. So if you have a bad day and you make a post that maybe you shouldn't, it can turn off a lot of people, and you could close a lot of doors to people listening to what you have to offer. So make sure you're very careful in what you do and say on social media. Attractive marketing is the way I built my business into what it is today. And basically the idea of attractive marketing is you want your audience to want to be around you. They want to be your friend. They want to have what you have. And there's just something about you that attracts them to you. So that's the idea that we're going for with how you're presenting yourself on Facebook. It needs to look attractive. If you're a prospect and you're only seeing your friend post Plexus posts all day long and they seem like ads, and I don't get anything about their life, you're probably not going to be interested in hearing what they had to say. And most likely you will go and you'll unfollow that person because you don't want to see their ads all day long. So make sure that you're not spamming your audience. Make sure that you're keeping that balance between your personal post and sharing your life and drawing them in so they want to be around you, and then sharing Plexus also, and sharing it in a way that is non-salesy or adsy, you know, kind of in a very more personable way. So I kind of like to think of my Facebook wall when I talk about attractive marketing. Think about it like a living room in the home. Like I'm opening up my house to somebody, and I want to be so hospitable and have this cozy living room where you can just sit in front of a fire and, you know, prop your feet up on the ottoman, and we can sit and chit chat and just have a good afternoon. And you never want to leave because you feel safe and comfy and cozy here. This is kind of the atmosphere I am wanting to create for my audience. I want them to feel safe and want to be around me and hear what I have to say. And when I say this, it may sound like a lot of pressure. You may be thinking, that's not me. Nobody wants to be around me that much. You know, I don't have that much to offer. But the key to this that makes it so easy is all you have to do is be vulnerable and authentic. If you are your real self, people are drawn to you. I promise. People want to be with the you way more than they want to be the you that you think you should be. So it's so important to not put on just a perfect, picture perfect life. It's like thinking about if you go to that friend's house who their house is pristine and everything is perfect and they're dusting as you walk. You're scared to be there. You don't want to hang out very long because you might get fingerprints on their couch. That's not what we're going for. We're going for real and authentic, but not a venti, complainy place either. You don't want to go to someone's house and all they do is moan and complain about their life. We don't want that. So make sure, again, we're drawing people in and making people want to hear what you have to say because of your vulnerability, because you're real and you're just showing yourself and showing your true colors, and people will love who you really are. Also, be careful not to make any posts that's going to alienate half your audience. It's okay to have opinions. I get that. We all have difference of opinions, but make sure that when you're sharing your opinion, you're doing so in a way that is open to hearing opposing sides. Kind of like, you know, when your friends are sitting down together, it's okay to talk about things as long as you're not like, I'm right, you're wrong. So make sure that you're open to hearing both sides and that you're presenting things in that way. With the healthy posting guidelines, some healthy guidelines I like to keep in check is 1 to 2 personal posts a day. Make sure you're keeping up with your personal posts and it's not too much Plexus, but also make sure you're sharing Plexus. So 1 to 2 compliant Plexus posts every day. Now, posting about Plexus every day may seem like a lot, but if you're new, especially if you're new, it's very, very important that you're consistent. Consistency is so key here, because if you post about Plexus once a week, your audience might see it once a month. They're not seeing everything that you're posting. So you might be posting every day thinking, oh my gosh, they're so sick of hearing about Plexus, but they're only seeing it once a week. So that's why it's important to make sure you're posting daily along with posts about your life, because they don't see every single thing you post. They're only seeing bits and pieces of it. So make sure that you're posting daily so that some of that stuff is making it into everyone's news feeds and they see what you're offering. Some example of some compliant posts. Be sure we have the shareables in our back office. If you go to Tools, Shareables, there's some great ones in there that you can just click Facebook and it instantly goes on your Facebook wall. And if someone clicks on it, it's going to take them directly to your website. They're great and easy and genius. If you're having one of those days where you're like, I can't think of anything to post, just go post a shareable. Just make sure these things are not overused, because this is something that, again, you don't want to look very adsy and salesy. We want to keep this like real and authentic and something that people like to see. And just a graphic and an ad can come off as something that it's an ad, right? It's not you really sharing this. So some examples of some posts that you could do that are real is, you always see people with their pink drink. That's something I post quite often. So everyone knows I'm still drinking my pink drink. I'm still thankful for my pink drink. I'm drinking my pink drink while I'm in school line. I'm drinking my pink drink before I work out. It's always with me. I'm always having it. So make sure, that's an easy one. If you're ever out of ideas, selfie with the pink drink. It's water right now. I know it's not pink, but you know what I'm saying. So that's a common one. Another one is like on payday. Yay, it's payday and I got these new shoes. I'm so thankful for my shoes that my Plexus paycheck bought for me. So that's an easy one. Thankful for my new earrings that I bought with my Plexus paycheck. So just, things like that to kind of draw people in, keep it fun and exciting. And those are great things. The products, like maybe on a dragging day, you can have a picture of you with your Edge. Oh, couldn't have made it through today without Edge. It was a long day. Something like that. So try to incorporate the products in your personal everyday post so that the post is still personal. It could be about your long day that you had and all the school activities you had to deal with, that you had your Edge. So it's a personal post, but you're thankful for your products that got you through that day. So that's a good way to kind of incorporate both and kind of draw them into your personal life, but then talk about the products that you love also. The engaging posts are great to post. Like you see people post them a lot on Facebook that might ask a question to get, some of them might be like the games or the quizzes type things, the funny memes that ask some question. I can't think of one off the top of my head. Hopefully you know what I'm talking about. But even just like asking a question like, any great movies out? Like, where should we go for date night? Or what's a good restaurant in this area? Or something like that. Something that's going to get people to comment on. Sometimes things that are kind of controversial, but not in an in-your-face way. Do you like this store better than that store? I can't think of 2 examples right now off the top of my head, but something like that gets people wanting to share their opinions, because people love to share their opinions. So if you give them a chance to share their opinion in a thread, you're probably going to get a lot of comments. So that's an engaging post. And the reason why you do an engaging post is because the way Facebook's logarithms work is if somebody likes something that you post, they're going to show it to more people. So the more comments a post get, the more people see the post. If you get a post that gets no comments, you'll notice it probably gets very few likes and it doesn't get much visibility. But as soon as a couple people start commenting, more and more and more and more and more start commenting, and it gets seen. And when people see your post and they click on it and they comment, Facebook thinks, oh, you want to see more posts by her. So now I'm going to show you something else. And that might be when they throw in your Plexus post that they see on the wall. So it's the way Facebook works. If you can get people interacting with you that haven't interacted with you in a while, they're going to start seeing your other stuff. So that's why we need to be doing the engaging post. One thing that I do on my Facebook is I group my friends into lists. So I have a video on that I'll post on the board after this that shows you how to do it. But the great thing about grouping your friends, this isn't like a group, a Facebook group. This is a Facebook list. I'll have a list of my non-Plexus audience is what I call them. And basically these are all of my Facebook friends that don't sell Plexus. You're like me and you've been in this for a while, you have a whole lot of Facebook friends on your wall that sell Plexus, and they take up a lot of your feed. And you may start to just see Plexus and lose your non-Plexus audience, and you're never interacting with them, so you're never seeing their stuff, therefore they're never seeing your stuff. So now I have a whole new Facebook wall I can see. If I click on my non-Plexus audience, all I'm seeing is people who don't sell Plexus's posts, which is kind of nice too. I kind of want to know what my other people are doing. You know, I kind of want to keep in check with them too and see what's going on in their lives. So I love having those lists. And this might be something if you want to keep some things more private on your wall. If you set up this list, then when you go to privacy before you make a post, say maybe you want to make a personal post about your family. You don't want all of these new people that you've added as Facebook friends. You'll just go to privacy, put close friends and family as your list, and only they see it. So the lists are great. Instagram, use hashtags to get new followers. It's a great way to get people. Come up with something that, in one of our later talks is going to be find your brand, but Instagram is a big place that having brands is important. So come up with things that you love and start searching for the hashtags, start posting pictures with those hashtags. You know, for example, it might even be like a breed of dog that you have, or, you know, yoga, if you love yoga, or if you love to cook or something like that. Start looking for those hashtags. Boss Babe, I think, is one that's pretty common. Why? I'm blanking on it. I think Boss Babe is one pretty common that you always want to put with your Plexus posts, and you will get lots of other entrepreneurs seeing that and liking it. There was another one and I can't think of it right now, but I'll put it in the comments when I think about them. So things like that. When you are to get more followers, if for every 100, if you go to the search feature and search these hashtags and things, for every 100 pictures that you like, on average, you'll get 7 new followers. So if you'll go through every day and just kind of like a few, you'll start to see your Facebook or your Instagram audience grow and grow. So now that's social media in a nutshell. We kind of crammed it in there. But the second way to share Plexus is cold messaging. And that means when you're cold messaging somebody, that means you are reaching out to someone that has not ever asked you about Plexus. So you're initiating this conversation. I love to keep cold messages short and sweet and not too wordy. If you throw too many words at them, a lot of times they're not going to hear what you have to say, and kind of, you know, they'll look at it, they'll see all the words, and then they won't even read it. They'll think, she's trying to sell me something, I don't need to read this. So my favorite approach when you first join is going through your friends list and messaging all those top people who you really want on your team or you really think need the products, and just saying, hi, have you heard or tried Plexus yet? I just started selling it and I'm so excited and I wanted to share this with you. That's all you have to say. Very short and sweet. If you don't get a response back, you might ask, would you be interested in trying a sample? It might be a way to kind of pull them in a little bit more and see if they're open to trying a sample. I loved offering samples when I first started, and I would buy an extra bag of Slim, and I would just break it into either 30 one-day packs so they could just try the peat drink and see how it tastes, or 10 3-day samples to kind of give them a little bit more than a day of the product. But basically the idea is for them just to see how it tastes. You know, they're not going to be on it too terribly long, because if you set up expectations that they think they're going to see anything from a day or two, they might be disappointed because they need to be on the products longer to see the full results. So kind of set that expectation up. I just want you to see what it tastes like. Once you order it, you'll get the full experience of what it can do for you. Anytime you're messaging with people, with every interaction, do your best to end your response with a question so that you keep the ball bouncing back and forth and you keep that interaction going between each other. If you blurt out too much information at one time, again, people see all the words and they think, that's too much right now, I don't have time for that, maybe I'll read it later, and then they forget and they don't. And then the last way to share Plexus is face-to-face. And this is something that's going to be done more organically throughout your day. It's a less planned thing. Listen for opportunities as you're out to share Plexus. You might be in line at the grocery store and the guy in front of you might be complaining about his blood sugars. It might, if you have a Paxoslim with you and a business card, make sure you carry those things with you. That's a perfect example for you to stop him and be like, I'm so sorry. I just overheard what you were saying about blood sugars, and I hope you don't find this rude, but I sell a product that is helping people keep their blood sugar stable. Here's my card. Here's a pack. I want you to try it and give me a call if you love it. And it's that simple. Like, you don't have to be overwhelming. Just be honest and sincere that you actually want to help them and you have something that you think will. I mean, we really do have products that are changing lives. And if you believe that, you're going to want to share this with other people, because you'll feel bad if you don't, because he could feel better. He feels bad now, you know? And so listen for examples like this when you're out and about throughout the day. Another thing is, you know, work on what we like to call our elevator speech. Like, what would you say if somebody asks you what you do? It's a common question if you are with new friends on a play date. Are you a stay-at-home mom? It's something you get asked all the time. Or what do you do? Do you work? And just come up with practice what you're going to say, so that you know what to say in situations like that. You know, a good example is just, again, short and sweet. I sell health and wellness products, and I'm able to stay home and set my own hours because of that. How about you? You know, and then turn it back to them and ask them. And usually they've heard what you said. Maybe they're telling you about themselves, but most of the time they're thinking, she's able to stay home because of it. You know, like, what does that mean? So practice that so that it sounds natural and not canned and fake to you. When you're sharing Plexus and you face objections when you're talking to people, and you will, because it's common, people are going to have objections. One of the good methods to use is the feel, felt, found method. So for example, say someone says, it's just so expensive, I can't afford that. Your response might be, oh girl, I know how you feel. I felt that way at first when I first started looking into Plexus. And what I found since I've joined is every month I've been able to make enough money to pay for my own products. So I actually haven't had to pay anything out of pocket at all. It's been so worth it. Or what if you don't feel the same way when someone gives you an objection? How do you use the feel, felt, found method then? So what you might do in that situation, say someone said, I have fibromyalgia and I have been on so many drugs and tried so many things. I just don't want to get my hopes up again. This might be a time you might respond with, I can't imagine how you must feel, as I've never been through that or felt that way. You know, show empathy here. I can't imagine. I'm so sorry. What I have found, though, is lots of testimonies of friends and family who have seen amazing results from this. And I would just love for you to hear some of these testimonies if you'd be open to reading them, because I would hate for you to miss out if this could be what helps you. So that is kind of some examples of that feel, felt, found method. So the third step, so our first step was build your audience. Our second step was share Plexus. We've covered that now. So now our third step we're going to move on to is following up. So this step is so important, like so important. I can't emphasize that enough. Don't expect any return on your efforts if you don't follow up, because 99% of the time, that first time you talk to them, you're not going to get the results that you want. You're not going to get the response that you want. You have to follow up with them. And a lot of the times people say they're going to order and they mean to order and they want to order and then they forget. I mean, I don't know how many times I've done that to friends myself. So don't feel like you're being pushy by following up. A lot of people want that. They've forgotten to order. They meant to order. They had good intentions. They need your reminder. So, and even if they had the objections, again, follow up. At this point in the game, you've started talking to people and you're getting some good responses. It's time to start documenting who you're talking to. Either get a notebook and write it down, or else put it in a spreadsheet. And I'm going to come up with a spreadsheet this week for you guys that has, probably tomorrow, that is a good way to document your follow-ups and your prospects. So that would hopefully help you with this thing. But one of the things you're going to need to be documenting, you're going to want to write down their name. You're going to what method you talked to them through. Like, was it in public? Was it on Facebook? Did you reach out to them? Did they reach out to you? The date you spoke. You need notes for any concerns, needs they had, like what are they struggling with, and the objections that they had. So these are the major things that you need to document. And then you need to document every time you followed up. And so you want to make sure after, at least within a week after talking to them, you follow up. That's the most important follow-up. You do not let 1 week go by before checking back in if you haven't heard back from them. Other times to follow up is, say their objection was a cost. Say they had a cost objection. And anytime Plexus runs a special, go through all your people that had cost objections and reach back out to them and say, hey, I know it wasn't a great time for you to try Plexus then, but now we have this awesome special going on and I couldn't not tell you because I know that the cost was so important to you. So this is why you want to write down what their objections were. So say that, you know, that you didn't have the product that they wanted and Plexus releases it at convention. So again, you need to know these things. And if you don't write them down, you'll forget. So make sure you're documenting all of your prospects well that you talk to. Now the fourth step, which you might think is the last step, but it's not, and that is closing the deal. So how do you close the deal? First, remember, no doesn't mean never. So don't rule them out if they tell you no. Just follow up later. But when you're sharing Plexus with a prospect, you need to present it in a way that is almost a no-brainer deal for them to join or order. They need to feel your excitement, and again, this is where belief is important. When you're talking to them, they need to be like, I need what she has because look at her energy and excitement. You know, you want them to feel that from you. You want them to feel how genuine you are and how excited you are for them. And I talk to them in words that are very affirmative for their future. Like, I'm so excited when you get on these products, you're just going to suddenly, you know, feel the difference and you're just going to love it. I cannot wait for you to have what we have. And when you first join my team, I'm going to add you to my team board. You know, these words that are saying that it's happening. So they're hearing you say what's going to happen when they're doing it. And that's kind of, it gets into your, you know, your subconscious, where if you say words, it like, if you join my team, you know, that's like thinking, well, if I don't, then, you know, don't even let those things be options. And again, talk about it in a way that it's like a no-brainer decision. Why wouldn't you order? I mean, it's risk-free. You get your money back if you hate it, but you're not going to hate it. So again, make it in a way that's, of course, you're going to join. Why wouldn't you join? Why wouldn't you order? I really don't know why people wouldn't. Another thing, don't make it overcomplicated. I know for me personally, I can be a spontaneous spender. So if it's the 15th of the month and I just got a paycheck and I'm looking for somewhere to burn it and someone makes that complicated for me and I say, hey, I want to join your business. And they're like, that would be fantastic. There's an opportunity meeting next Thursday. I would love for you to come with me and see what we have to offer. I'd be like, and maybe I'll go shop at J. Crew instead. So that's not what we want. We want to make sure if someone comes to you and says, I'm ready to join and they're excited, you just hold their hand right through that and you sign them right up. So give them graphics. I know we have graphics. I'll post this again on the team board if you don't have them handy for you, that show you the steps. I would say, awesome. Here's the first thing you do. Click Join Plexus. Here's a picture so you can find where it's at. Join Plexus. Here's the second thing you do. You're going to fill in all your information and just walk them through it to make sure every single step. I'll even walk them through it to the point that I kind of boss them in what to order. So you're going to pick this welcome pack. You're going to pick the Triplex welcome pack. Because remember when we talked about how you're wanting to see your inflammation go down? This is going to be the combo that you want. So because if you give them too many decisions, a lot of times people's decisions will make them wait and think, well, let me figure out that decision and I'll come back to it tomorrow. And then they don't come back to it tomorrow. So don't give them that chance, you know, especially if you've already talked to them for a while, which you probably have, and you know which products they need, just tell them what to order. So make it easy, make it exciting, and closing the deal should be a very simple, effortless process. And then the last step, and the most important step, and the step that even I forget often, and this is where I drop the ball, is to follow up again. We never stop following up. Once you have somebody who's ordered your products or joined your team, you're not done with your work. It has just started. So make sure you're coaching them on how to use the products. Make sure they're happy with their results. Make sure they know to drink water all the time and to stop drinking soda. Make sure that they are, you know, being consistent and not forgetting to take their products, and make sure they're not taking too much probiotics so their die-off is super high and they feel sick. You know, these are things we need to be on top of, and we need to know what's going on with their customers. With their ambassadors, make sure they're plugged in. They know how to get started. They feel like they're part of the team. This follow-up is the most important follow-up so that we don't lose people, because think of it like a running sink. If you don't follow up after you join, you turned on the sink with an open drain and that water is going to go right down the drain. We don't want all your hard efforts to go right down the drain. We want to keep all that water in the sink. So follow up with people after they join. So the basic steps to building your business never change. Make sure every day you're practicing these same steps, no matter if you're brand new or if you're like me and been in this for 4 years. Every day, keep building your audience, keep sharing Plexus, keep following up, practice closing the deal, and then follow up with the ones you already have. I can guarantee you, if you start doing these things as your team grows, and if you stop doing these things, as your team grows and start to focus too much on your team, you will start to see your business hurt. But it's very easy to shift back into doing the basics again. We have to stick to these basics. They're easy to practice. Don't overcomplicate it. Just get out there and start sharing Plexus. And I can't wait to see your businesses grow. Y'all have a great night. Thanks for tuning in.